Fingers crossed, everybody will be able to see the slide deck with a wonderful title and the pictures, and you should be able to hear myself and Julia. I will say thank you very much for your patience. We're getting going a little bit slower, so we will just whip through the introduction. So my name is David Fisher Benjamin. As it says there, I'm a future messaging evangelist. It's still the coolest title I've ever had. And I'm joined today by the wonderful and very patient Julia Dakin from Meta, representing WhatsApp. And we're going to be talking to you about one of the best rich channels out there, one that your clients are already using, and one that is already available to you through the Webex former IMI mobile product suite. What we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit about WhatsApp for Business, and we talk about the vision and the purpose. We're going to talk about the commerce, where it can be applied, the type of customer journeys, and then I think what the majority of you have joined for. So we're going to talk about use cases, specifically looking at banking, financial services, retail, a couple of others. And then we're going to give you a little bit of a preview about scaling message experience with ads and making the most of your spend with Meta in terms of your Facebook and other adverts. And fingers crossed, despite the slow start, we may have a few moments for Q&A. We'll be keeping an eye on your questions as they come in throughout the session, though, so please throw them in. And what we'll do is we will try and answer them as we go. So thank you very much again for your patience, and I'm going to hand over to Julia, and we'll start taking a look at WhatsApp.
Thank you, David. Thank you very much. Well, as you know, customers' expectations have changed, and now people are spending more time on their digital devices. And if we think about the evolution of communication, we will understand that the person-to-person communication has evolved dramatically, whereas the business-to-person has not had that rapid evolution. If we think about ourselves, from voice calling to SMS to email, with the evolution of the 2G, Blackberries, remember, I think everyone remembers them, love them or hate them, but they really did change the world and the way we communicate. And now messaging apps that have completely transformed the way we communicate with each other each day. If we look at the person-to-business communication, it has not had that rapid evolution, and businesses are still largely stuck on SMS and email, sort of the old traditional channels, which are no longer relevant. And this is where we come in as Meta with our messaging solutions. And if we also think about the way we communicate with the businesses, so throughout the whole day, sort of 24/7, we will have interactions with different companies throughout the whole day. And right now, the journey is quite fragmented. So you might contact them via the website, then it could be an email or a phone call. What WhatsApp allows you to do is to have all of that communication streamlined within the same channel. Next slide. So why the WhatsApp business platform? We do have 3 lines of businesses, just to make it clear. We have the consumer app, which is what we're using with you on a daily basis. We have the small business app, which is more geared towards the enterprises. And we have the API, and the API allows you to the business to connect with their customers at scale. And you can connect it to any of the systems like the CRM, knowledge base, reservation system, ERP, etc. So here's just some examples of those backend systems.
And I'll say this is where Webex comes into play. So as a WhatsApp business partner, our software sits above the API, meaning that linking all of those messages directly into your CRM, directly into your next best decision engine, whatever the sources of data are, is incredibly easy.
Thank you. At WhatsApp specifically, our mission is to deliver the real-time communication between businesses and people. So enable any person to discover, communicate, and transact with any business just the way we do with our family and friends. So why do we think that we are a really good platform to deliver that? And ultimately, it is about reach. It is about being where your customers are. And most of your customers, they will be on the WhatsApp. So over here, you can see kind of the scale at which we are operating. We have 2.5 billion people using WhatsApp every month in over 180 countries. So we are that messaging platform of choice for people globally. And in fact, when we did the research around the world with different users, we found that people prefer to communicate with the business over the WhatsApp. So majority of the people, 68% of the people, say that WhatsApp is the easiest way of contacting a business. And there are obvious reasons for that. So people don't want to sit on hold in telephone queues. People want to have rich experience, the ability to send pictures, medias, location, just like what we do on a daily basis with our friends and family. And they want to be able to reply at the time that is convenient to them, sort of to have that asynchronous communication. What also does, it helps to provide continuity. So, which means that when I'm talking to a business, and if I get transferred to another department, if I pick up a conversation on a different day, that context, that history of the chat already exists, and I don't have to explain myself all over again. So it is easy to see why we are a great tool for brands to grow revenue, reduce customer care costs, and to improve profitability, as in a nutshell. And the other really important thing over here we see is that when we're talking about the business initiated messages, sort of the ability of the business to reach out to customers, it's the previous slide, David. I'm still on the talking about the WhatsApp. Yes, thank you. So 98% read rate or the click-through rate, that is super high. So if you compare it to the email advertising or the web-based advertising, typically the email campaign, the click-through rate will be something in the range of 6 to 8%. So that means that we are roughly 10 times more effective at our marketing and how we deliver it. And this has huge value for the businesses. So if you're doing an email advertising, web-based advertising, you need to create very generic messages for a very large customer base. So what you can do with the WhatsApp is be far more targeted at who you talk to, personalize the offer, and maximize the chances of the customer engaging, which is very valuable. What we also have is a very good success rate at moving customer from initial engagement, where they express their interest, for example, and then moving that on to actively engaging with the business. And various case studies that we've done, taking Mercedes-Benz, for instance, that they did the campaign around the hybrid and electric vehicles. The cost per lead generated by the WhatsApp was 80% lower compared to other platforms. Next slide, please. Thank you. And here's just some numbers taking out of the case studies, sort of the results that our customers are sharing, the KPIs. So just as an example, 5 times lower acquisition cost compared to other channels, double-digit increases in conversion rates, that's across verticals and across regions, increases in average order value. You can move to the new slide. Thank you. And with that, I want to talk to you about the commerce type of use cases. And this is where we see huge growth at the moment. The conversational commerce is different from a purely marketing style SMS type of blast of engagement. It allows to create much more personalized experiences, taking it to the next level. Thank you. You can go to the next slide. We have done extensive internal and external research, and what we see is that customers actually want to interact with the business across entire customer journey. So pre-purchase, they might want to make a general inquiry. If possible, they want to make a purchase on the same channel, and post-purchase, they want to get product service support, they want to follow up on their order. Go to the next slide. And now a little bit about our product features. It is very important to have a diversified entry point strategies. So once you get the WhatsApp, how do people find you on that WhatsApp? And we make it really easy for the businesses to have that. So phone IDR deflection has exploded in popularity, especially during the COVID times when the call centers for banks, telcos, other companies, they were just exploding. The call pressure just went through the roof, and agents could not handle that call volume. So what phone IVR deflection allows you to do is in your phone IVR tree, you have the options: press 1, press 2 if you want to speak about insurance, for example, press 3 if you want to speak via the WhatsApp. to have a conversation via the WhatsApp. And it's a very seamless experience because there is no additional action that the user has to do. It is automatically the WhatsApp application opens up and they can follow up and or resolve their query via the WhatsApp as opposed to waiting on hold for like an hour, which is a very good experience for a consumer. And we saw some companies automating 100% of their queries, even though best practice, we do recommend to have the live agent escalation path. QR codes have also exploded in popularity. We see them everywhere. We see them on the standees. We see them on packages if you want to track your delivery. We have a very good one where one sort of makeup brand, they put it on the standees in the retail store. So once the person scans the QR code, they can have like tips and tricks on the makeup. So it really ups the customer engagement. You can go to the next slide. Thank you. So here's one such example of the customer journey. What WhatsApp allows you to do is to have complete native journey building, everything within the WhatsApp. So the user finds the business, they saw an ad, for example, on one of the Facebook platforms, and most of the companies, they are already placing ads on Meta platforms. So why not have that call to action button? If you want to have a conversation via the WhatsApp, click here. And they're interested whether they have blueberries in stock. So they ask a question, and the business, everything is automated. They can present them with the menu of items and tell them, yes, we have fresh blueberries in stock. And then send the order page to the live agent to fulfill the order, request customer opt-in for future communication. Maybe they want to have the follow-up for the order, sort of the customer service use cases also on the WhatsApp. They receive the order confirmation with a PDF, provide shipment notification, and everything is happening within the same channel. And also what is very important, what we see is happening a lot these days with the brands because of the macroeconomic environments, because of the policies and regulations that new platforms are coming in. Privacy, the loss of signal is a big thing. They cannot do tracking, they cannot do lead generation as effectively as before. So companies are placing a lot more emphasis on retaining the existing customers. So what they do, what you can do, you can retarget the customer, that's one, but also you can re-engage with them and bring them back on the pre-sale stage with maybe a voucher, maybe an offer, maybe there's a complementary product that is on sale at the moment. So really looping back into having that 360-degree customer journey as opposed to having the linear trajectory. We can go to the next slide. Thank you. So ads that click to WhatsApp are a very powerful tool, powerful entry point for the company. They can help drive user-initiated messages and unlock the potential of the WhatsApp presence. So companies that are already spending their ads, their budget on the ads with Meta, they can have that option, which really means that they can convert a high-intent customer immediately on the same channel. We can go to the next slide. We invest heavily into the feature development, and our focus from H2, but also 2023 and going forwards, is really the commerce type of features. So over here, this is already live, product list messages, which allows the businesses to share a subset of 30 products from your inventory. So you can pull a personalized, let's say 30 products. So let's say I'm looking for bread in this example. You can straight away go into your backend system. You can pull the 30 items, personalized for the consumer. Maybe it's less, maybe it is more. Personalized for the consumer. Here's the bread that we have available. Which one would you like to choose? Straight away, the person can put it in the cart. You can apply as the business discounts and then go into a checkout and then receive the order confirmation. We can go to the next slide. So here's what's coming in the H2, and we're very excited about it. So as we're focusing on building more commerce features, soon companies will be able to have the whole storefront within the WhatsApp. So companies will be able to upload thousands of items of their inventory in the catalog, and then really split them into categories. So here's the fresh produce, here's the eggs, for example, here's the dairy. So the person, when they go into the business profile of the company, let's say I'm Carrefour, and I have that number stored in my phone, sort of the business profile. I go into the business profile and I can shop by category. Thank you. So diving into some of the use cases, we have two types of messages on our platform. So one will be the user-initiated messages. So when the customer starts a message thread by messaging the business, here we're not asking for any opt-in. Click to WhatsApp will be one of those examples. The IVR deflection will be another one. We have business-initiated messages. This is the ability of the business to reach out with maybe promotional content, maybe some loyalty use case. And here we do require the prior opt-in. We can go to the next slide. Thank you. So here's one example of the customer-initiated messages, mostly geared for the customer service use cases. These are examples from the financial services vertical, I specifically selected for this webinar. So customers might have different queries. They might want to understand, like policy details, for example, fund value details, premium payment, whether they're eligible or not. They might want to explore new products or understand where the branch is, or maybe they lost their card, for example. And it's very valuable to have that customer service immediate response on a WhatsApp, because if you lost your credit card or there was some fraudulent transaction, by the time you reach a bank through the call center, all your money might get stolen. We never know these days with the hackers. But what WhatsApp allows you to do is to have that conversation within the WhatsApp immediately. Thank you. Can go to the next slide. Here are some examples of the business-initiated messages. And now we do allow businesses to reach out to consumers with relevant promotions, maybe contextualized for the consumer. You can reach out with a credit limit alert, for example, or the appointment reminder. Or maybe there's a new insurance policy that you want to present to the customers. In the COVID days, it was quite popular to present customers with new COVID-related insurances, because obviously conditions were changing. You can go to the next slide. So here's just some of the sample use cases that we see companies are utilizing, mostly retail and financial services verticals. We have a lot more, I will be honest, and we see them popping up like literally every single day. Companies are coming up with new use cases. So this is not an exhaustive list, but just for you to understand that actually there's so much that you can do on the WhatsApp. It is unlimitless. It depends only on your imagination, maybe technical capabilities. But this is where our partners like IMI Mobile/Cisco come in and really help the enterprise to design the roadmap for their use cases. It is, however, very important to start with one, get used to it. So what is your main challenge? What is your main pain point? Is it lead generation, for example? Is it new market penetration? Is it maybe orders? You need to make sure that the post-purchase phase of your use cases is kind of looked after, or is not effective as it could be. So it is important to choose one, understand the channel, get comfortable, get everything set up, and then you can do a lot more. We can go to the next slide. And here we see how the combination of the features really streamlines the customer engagement. Yet again, financial services, vertical, one Indian bank. These are real examples, by the way. Most of them are debranded because we cannot disclose the name of the bank until, or any company for that matter, until we have them published as a case study. So what we typically do is we have like a tool where we can debrand it, take screenshots, debrand it, and really recreate the experience with some, imaginary bank, for example. So here we see that the bank wants to reach out to a customer who just made a purchase, for example, for a very high value, and they're offering to split that payment into installments. And it is very valuable for the business because they can get extra interest, they can get extra cash in, and for the consumer as well, because they can split that massive purchase. Let's say you bought some expensive shoes and you might want to split into 3 months payments, for example. So you can do this on the WhatsApp. Benefits the consumer, it's convenient, and also benefits the company because they can get more revenue. We can go to the next slide. Okay. Another example of the end-to-end journey that really ensures the conversion because of the easiness of the experience. Here's the reorder based on the previous order, and let's be honest, we're all creatures of our habit and tend to shop for the same items every week for sure. So this is just a very convenient example where you can reach out to the person with the relevant offers or introductions when, for example, you have too much items in stock and you want to get rid of some, and they're relevant for the person in question. We can go to the next slide. Here's another example with the ads that click to WhatsApp, and you can place them across Facebook or Instagram and present. So over here, present them with the menu of the serums in this case. So the person saw an advert that, hey, the serums are 35% off right now, and they want to discover more, which serums, to be able to make the sort of purchasing decision. So they can ask a question, and straight away, the business, everything is automated again. You can pull the catalog of those items that are discounted, and you can present them to the customer. And the customer then chooses one which they like, they place them into the cart, and then proceed into purchase. And of course, you can have images, you can have buttons that really transforms the experience from a type-based into tab-based. So the conversion rates are a lot higher on the WhatsApp. Thank you. So how do we deliver value, drive sales? Of course, you can offer one-on-one transactions opportunities for high touch or high consideration sales. So imagine Louis Vuitton, for example. It is a very high-end shopping experience. So you do want to have that one-on-one experience, but also financial services, because it is a very high consideration item. Let's say new policy, or you want to change a bank even, or maybe you want to apply for a new credit card that will give you some additional bonuses for traveling, for example. Now traveling is resumed. So you can enable personalized curated shopping experience with the multi-product messages in the example that we saw previously with the product display pages, and really put them into cart to ensure conversion. Thank you. And some other examples. Here's the promotional notification. You can have the WhatsApp bubble directly on your website, collecting the opt-in from the user. And then the user receives the WhatsApp notification during, let's say, the hot sale. So let's say they were on the website, they were shopping, and they want to wait until the hot sale starts. So you can just collect their details and let them know. Then when the sale starts, we'll reach out to you with the relevant discounts and promotions. So then you're reaching out. And these are the real examples as well that we see from the customers when they launch this use case. 24% was the offer acceptance and 8% new product acquisition in terms of the upsell. Next example is very traditional, sort of the lead generation and appointment booking. And again, here we see how the combination of features in the conversation streamlines the user experience, and it feels as natural as chatting to a friend. You can choose items, you don't need to type anything. Here's the list messages, for example. You can book an appointment to, so in this example, I think it's the sort of the showcasing of the car. If you want to book a test drive, you can do it via the WhatsApp. Pulling up the list messages, you can present them with the options for the time that is convenient to them, and straight away automate the whole experience.
And you were telling me an anecdote about that particular use case. Is it true that people have started selling WhatsApp, so doing cars on WhatsApp, so the complete end-to-end journey?
Yes, this is very popular in LATAM. So our LATAM region is maybe 2 years ahead of Europe, or EMEA, maybe a year ahead of India, let's say. or APAC, they're very advanced on the WhatsApp. They do everything. But obviously they started from where we are probably were half a year ago. But right
Yeah.
now they do everything. And you can book a car. We see houses being sold on the WhatsApp. For them, it just feels very natural. And it's just the way they live. It's for us, it's unnatural. For them, it's very easy. And I saw for the insurance, for example, they use the loan simulator within the WhatsApp, so you can apply for a loan. You can understand your credit score, whichever is applicable to you. So myriad of use cases, and we see them propping up every single day.
Perfect. So last slide. There you go.
Yes, and a couple of case studies. Again, with the numbers always help to understand how we bring value, and these are quite high as well, but also consistent across verticals and regions in terms of the up in the conversion rates. So, Bank Mandiri is one of the largest banks in Indonesia. Their kind of mission is to offer customers the best, most convenient digital services across all of their products. They did a few experiments, and one of the most successful, let's say, use cases is described over here. So they wanted to expand its credit card business. They wanted to launch a campaign to send relevant, timely business initiated messages to every opted-in credit customer. So what they did is for the person who transacted above a certain amount, they offered a really easy and quick sort of convert to purchase transaction into an installment scheme. So similar to the example that we saw previously. And these are some of the results that they saw. 37% all conversations happened via the WhatsApp, 42% increase in net margin interest income through WhatsApp, and 56% more credit card application response verification notifications. We can go to the next slide. Here's another example from the retail vertical. And Carrefour, I believe everyone is familiar with the multinational sort of hypermarket. They're headquartered in France with retail outlets worldwide, including Brazil, Spain, Italy, Poland. So what they do, they started, this is the example, this is a real example as well that I've been working on. They started in Brazil. Actually, this is Karina, the brand persona. And they started with kind of streamlining the catalogs that they used to have in print. And you could see those catalogs near the stores everywhere with some coupons and promotions and everything in this sort of like paper-based format. So people will go into the store, they will pick up this catalog, and they will use these promotions over, let's say, a month. So they decided that, for a variety of reasons, they want to launch this use case, the digital catalogs with the coupons on the WhatsApp. It was so successful that now we're talking about maybe a year and a half ago that they started doing it. Right now they're doing everything. So they're running the My Rewards, sort of the loyalty scheme over there. They have gift cards. You can do the personalized shopping experience with them as well. What they also did last year, because once they collected those opted-in people who wanted to have their catalogs in digital as opposed to print, now that they had a lot of like a big customer base, they decided that they want to do more with this. They expanded their use cases. So what they did the campaign with Samsung. So Samsung was launching a mobile number, and they did mobile phone, the new sort of device, and they wanted to promote it exclusively on the WhatsApp. So in collaboration with the Samsung, exclusively only on WhatsApp, here's the promotion. And the results that they saw were really massive. So they're very, very good customer of ours.
It's a wonderful example of exactly what you were saying, starting with something that already exists, moving that content into messaging, and then growing the use cases, the opt-ins grow. It's a fabulous example, and now, as you say, they're now doing everything. Do you think that they'll expand the service outside of Brazil and across the other markets as well, or have they already started doing it?
That's a very good question, because right now I'm working on the France rollout. So they want to enable it's 1,000 stores in sort of the consideration project scope. And they want to enable every single store to have that personalized experience. So they're setting up WhatsApp account for every store across France. to run their promotions, loyalty schemes, to have that personalized sort of like shopping experience. They place the QR codes everywhere in the store, so the person, when they're going in, they can scan the QR code and straight away immediately get their personalized sort of shopping experience within the same channel, which is very convenient. So it was so successful in Brazil that they're expanding right now into Spain as well and France. And yes, it is a very good example of starting small and expanding the use cases. And this is not the first. Everything is based on the best practices and personal experience, of course. But once enterprises or companies, they see how much you can do on the WhatsApp, like myriad of the use cases, they want to do everything straight away. And this is not the very best approach from our experience. It is very, very important to start small, understand how it works, what works for your business. In the end, you can expand and do so much more. That's
Wonderful. And then for any of our attendees in France and Spain, keep an eye out for it because it's obviously coming to you next.
yeah.
No. Superb numbers on that particular use case as well.
Yep.
So I think we're coming towards the end of our time. I do want to leave a couple of minutes for the questions that have come in. So if we can ask you about what's coming in terms of, or what's working well in terms of the ad space, and then we'll hopefully have some time for questions.
In terms of the ad space, so click to WhatsApp, click to Messenger, NIG is gaining popularity. And we see, I will just share maybe one example because the ecosystem is relatively new. And this is important to bear in mind. We're not as developed, let's say, as SMS or email or like even Cisco as a business or even like Meta Ads business. Business messaging is still quite new. What we saw, and I was working on this campaign with the Dior, I think everyone knows this brand in France. They decided to launch a campaign. They ran an ad, like Instagram influencer. They were launching a new beauty product, Dior makeup, like lipstick, and they invited this influencer to over 3 days, sort of to promote this brand, this new lipstick. It was lipstick, Dior Beauty. And what they did, they made it optional to have a conversation on the WhatsApp with the influencer. Everything was automated by the bot. And for them, because this is very new use case, when you see your favorite influencer, she is advertising something new of your favorite brand, and obviously you want to chat with her, they give you this option, like really to have the customized personal engagement. So over 3 days, they came up with some campaign where it was like a game in a way. She was feeding them with new content every single day. So the user had to stay engaged if they were interested and they wanted to continue. And we saw massive results. They had to limit the bot because obviously followers for Dior on the platform, millions. But they had to limit the bot because like 700K, I think we limited the bot people that could enter into conversation. Then we kind of stopped it. And what we saw is that 94% of people, they finished the whole journey over 3 days. So they stayed engaged on WhatsApp and they wanted to discover more. So WhatsApp did provide huge value, and everything it's very natural because you're already spending on on Meta somewhere in some form ads. So it's a very natural engagement when you have the sort of deflection into the chat if you want to convert the user or you want to run a campaign or for any other use case. I think we will see a lot more coming up. Everything is still quite new, but Dior case is the recent one, literally a month ago, so I was working on it. You're muted there.
If I come off mute, that'll make it a little bit easier. I say thank you very much for taking us through all of that. There's some superb use cases in there that I hope have given our audience some ideas about what they can pick up on. I know we've just got about 4 minutes left, so there are a couple of questions that have come in. What I'll say to everybody in the audience is all the questions that we're not going to answer now, we will follow up when we come out to you, and we'll share the recording. Probably with the beginning edited off, and we will answer all the questions that we don't get to on the session. But I will say one of the ones that's just come in, because I know it's a change that only sort of took place late last year. Question was asked, do you now allow push promotions, so marketing? And obviously, yes, you do. But can you give us what's the best practice around it? Because it isn't a free-for-all. You don't want anybody being spam. So what's the best practice and what should we do for push promotions?
There are three key words to making it a success. Yes, we have only allowed promotional notifications fairly recently, I would say roughly a year ago or so, because we want to keep WhatsApp valuable channel for the end users. Because if it becomes another spam channel like SMS or email, people will stop using it and they will switch to another medium of communication. So quality on our channel is our North Star. It is everything. It is trumps any revenue, any margins, anything. For us, quality, the end user, sort of like me and you, David, and like everyone on this call, is the key stakeholder, let's say. So there are three best practices, three keywords: expected, relevant, and timely. So expected, it all boils down to the opt-in, right? Because when you opt in, the user consent to receiving a message via the WhatsApp. It is not, doesn't come as a surprise, because see, WhatsApp is still a very personal channel. We communicate, someone compared it, we did the user research in Brazil to my granny. This is how I communicate with her. Someone who is sitting in your living room when you're in your bedroom. So it is so personal, you really don't want the disturbance coming into the WhatsApp for you. So only when you give that consent, when the user expects it, because yes, for example, in one of the examples that I gave, you want to hear more about when the hot sale starts, right? So when I'm expecting, I'm actually waiting for it. I want to hear more. Then I will not block a spam or ban the business, which can harm the campaign, for example, that the company is running. I will actually engage with the business and then I will save it. And it takes some time as well because we are very cautious people. We need to get comfortable. And then we're kind of used to communicating with that brand.
Yeah.
Expected, relevant, other relevant. So for example, based on recent purchase, I was browsing on the website again and I saw maybe I left a banner cart is a very good example. And I left the cart, I didn't complete it. So why not reach out to that user? Maybe there's a discount. I was shopping for shoes, for trainers. I left them in the cart. I left, for a walk. And then you reach out to them in a couple of hours. Oh, hey, these trainers are actually on a discount. So of course it is expected. And are they timely? When are you reaching out? Is it Ramadan? Is it relevant for that promotion period? Is it the weekend? Is it at night? So these three key pillars they guarantee the success on the platform.
Wonderful. Thank you very much for that and incredibly thorough. What we will do, so the other questions that have come in, there's quite a few questions about the terms and conditions, there's quite a few questions about the data security, and there's quite a few questions about how do we get hold of this and who do we contact. So what I promised to everybody on the call, we'll follow up. We will answer all of the questions, probably with Julia's help, and we'll get them sent out to you. We will share the recording and we will share the slide deck as well, because there are a couple more use cases towards the end that we didn't get to. But I will say thank you very much, Julia, for all the time this morning. Thank you for your patience. And thank you for taking us through all those details. Thank you to everybody who's joined us and making the time this morning. I know there's lots of pressures on everybody for your time and your attention. So thank you very much indeed. And we will call it to an end there. Thank you very much. Take care.
David, thank you very much for hosting. Hopefully live next time.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you,
Goodbye.
David. Bye.